So I wanted to reveal to you guys how we book about 8 to 15 sales calls every single day for a $6,800 offer that I run called the Kingdom Closer Academy. We spend, about $40 per call at this point if you're looking at like total ad spend. And we use a mix of an Instagram page and a VSL funnel. So I'm going to just show you how I've designed this. And this is a peek inside of my mastermind where you get unlimited one-on-one support from myself via Slack. We can get a meeting really anytime. And we got about 20 people in here, people as high as $600,000 or $700,000 a month, and people as low as about $40,000, $50,000 a month. So this usually isn't for your non-established business owners, but we do make exceptions for people who have great offers and that I really believe in. So you can book a call and speak with myself directly. I don't have a team. It'll be myself, and we could talk about getting into this mastermind. It'll just be you and I. Okay, so you can use the link in the description to do that, or you can pick up a $1,000 an hour one-on-one call if you just have a couple questions you want me to answer. Links in the description for that as well if you don't want to commit to, a whole mastermind. Okay, so enjoy this training either way. This is going to show you kind of how we're structuring the marketing for my other company right now and how it's yielding literally. I mean, it's anywhere from 8 to 15 sales calls a day, and I'll just show you proof of that real quick before we move on. Like if I just go to the Instagram channel alone, and I'll go to Saturday because my Saturday doesn't work Sundays and it's early on a Monday here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 8, and then a handful of applications that we're gonna self-set, and then actually the Zapier was off for the first bit of the day here. So this actually would have been another 3 or 4 here. And then from our VSL, which would be leads here. So if we go to again Saturday, because right now it's Monday when I'm filming this, each of these blue links is a booking. So 1 booking. 2 bookings, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bookings. And this is off the back, by the way, of only about 400 a day in ad spend, $450 a day. So like very minimal ad spend. So this is an incredible system. Stick around and enjoy. What's going on, everybody? I want to show you guys how I'm getting all of our different marketing components to work together synergetically with KCA, how we're running the VSL and how it leads to growing our Instagram page and how the Instagram page leads to booking calls and how we're running Instagram ads alongside Instagram organic that also links to our VSL in the bio. So it's this very strong, cohesive front-end system. And, we're at a stage now where we've got one really good closer. He's already gotten his first sale. He should produce 70 to 100 grand a month in cash, and then we're looking for one or 2 more, and then that should hold us at a pretty solid cash level. So let me talk a bit about, I'm just going to kind of draw it out. I think that's probably the best thing to do is just to draw it out. So first of all, I want you to understand we have 2 ICPs, okay? So you have sales reps burn out with in-person. Okay, and our belief engineering process, if you don't know belief engineering, you're new to the mastermind, just to make sure you understand. First of all, you have a macro trend or a mass consensus, which I didn't write over there in the KCA one, but the macro trend for sales guys is obvious, and I'll talk about it in a sec. But you call out a macro trend, you get them to see that there's a certain way they're trying to do things that doesn't work anymore, and you invalidate it in your marketing, in your messaging. And then you introduce a new way, and you validate it, and you justify it. And then you explain how the format of your offer makes it almost impossible not to experience the benefits of the new way, and then this leads to sales. Now, this conversation can happen in the prospect's brain in a handful of different environments, in the VSL, in a webinar, in organic, on YouTube, on an Instagram page, in the setting conversation, in the DM. What's important is that we understand that at every level, all we're trying to do is essentially just create this conversation in our prospect's head. They feel called out by the pain that our marketing calls out. They kind of agree with us that what they're doing right now isn't working. So they're open to hearing new ideas. Then we introduce a better thing and we justify it. And then we show them how the format of our offer works. Now, I know I'm such a broken record. Like I talk about belief engineering everywhere I go, but the reason why it's working, the reason why we're getting, like today, we're getting $35 booked calls straight off the VSL. That's not including Instagram. And we're getting like $4 inbound DMs, and like in total, I think we have to spend like $50 to get a meeting. It's ridiculous. Like it's absurd actually. Like this thing's gonna go nuts if we just put our foot on the gas. Like myself and my leaders are all like, yeah, we could easily put a couple $1 million in the bank like both of us. So we're about to just put the foot on the gas and really just go heavy on sales for a while. But the reason why I focus on this first is because this really is the cornerstone that all of your marketing initiatives build off of. If you've validated your belief engineering, if you've validated your message and it's good to go, then everything you do is based off of it. If you do DM ads, if you do a webinar, if you do organic YouTube, if you do organic Instagram, if you do freaking ads to one of these platforms, if you do a low ticket funnel, it literally doesn't matter. Literally does not matter. If you nail this and you validate it, then you can move it into all these different functions. And essentially, because all you're trying to do with marketing is just get people to have a conversation in their head and then come to their own conclusions based on that conversation, right? So you're just controlling the conversation, essentially. So I just want to make that clear. So everything starts there, as you guys know. I mean, I've made this so clear. Confirm a fear or a suspicion, give them hope of a new path, make it certain that they're going to achieve it, and you get sales. Go for the jugular. Go right for the pain. Kick their bruised knee. Make it impossible to ignore your message because you're using language that they would use. Okay, I have plenty of other training on that. So KCA's belief engineering, we have 2 ICPs. Now, this is ICP we go after with paid, because this ICP is much harder to go after with paid. So we go after, we do organic and paid with this, and we only do organic with this, but our paid often visits our page anyway, because they just click the profile icon that the ad is running off of, and they come and visit our page anyway. So I'll explain this now. So top of funnel is, and I'll draw it like left to right, I guess. So top of funnel is ads, and the quality of lead that we get from ads is like 8 out of 10. I mean, it's amazing because we've really dialed in our pixel. So our pixel is optimized only for bookings, and we only allow people to book if they say they have at least like $3,000 to buy something, right? So ads are an amazing source. And what happens is these people go straight to the VSL, and then they go straight to becoming a booking, and then straight to a close. And then this alone is a 3x cash return, okay? But what's cool is these people also visit our Instagram, okay? And the reason why is because, and I'll show you in a sec, these ads are hosted on Instagram. So we only run them on Instagram. And now what happens is we also have content on that Instagram page. And I'll link off to a training that we base our content approach on that makes organic content on Instagram honestly relatively easy. Like it's pretty easy to go viral on Instagram. And it's easy to make sales if you have your belief engineering set up. And so then the Instagram also sometimes goes to the VSL because the link's in the bio, right? And then they'll book calls from their close and whatever. But then the content also goes to a setter in the DM. Okay. And then we get booked calls and they close. Okay. And then what's even cooler is if they're on the VSL page, and I'll show you this. This is such a little hack. I mean, I really took some time to really design this system here. So if they're on the VSL page, come into this ad here that we're running. This is our best ad by far. I made that other training about modeling the outcome. Consistently, this is our best ad. If you model the outcome in your ad, if you nail the pain, you introduce a new way that is intriguing, and you model the outcome visually in your ad, you've already done half the work on the sale before they're even on the call, just in the ad. There's a little button here. You can click Instagram Direct. Now, what this means is if they go to the page, okay, and they actually visit the page. At the bottom of the page, it would be on mobile. There'd be this button that says Message Instagram Page. And so they're watching this video, and if the video doesn't get them, they'll just tap the Message Us button. It's so sick. And so then what happens is if they go ads to VSL, sometimes they go from VSL right to DMing us. And we'll get these DMs, like it'll say like, hey, could I learn more about this or whatever. And then the other way that we get them is the content doesn't just get us followers. How this happens is the content gets us followers and comments. And we outbound to DM the followers to start DM conversations, and also we outbound the comments. Okay? And then we start conversations from there. So you can see how this like all connects together. Like it's actually hard to like draw because it's like there's so many interlinking pieces, but it all links together in a way that I'm really, really happy about. And so when our organic is doing well, we're turning like $1 into like 8. And even when our organic isn't doing well, we're turning $1 into like 4. Maybe $1 into more. I mean, it might be $1. It might be $1 into like 10 right now. I mean, actually, like it's pretty awesome. Like I literally have just been so focused on all the details. I need to reconcile all the math. But right now we're pacing about 3 to 5 units at $5,000 a week, and we're only spending like 300, 400 bucks a day. So, and then this is the last thing that we do. I keep forgetting to include things. There's all these little interconnecting pieces. When a piece of content does well, organically. So if I go to our page, go to Reels so you can see the view count. 34,000 on this. And if you click View Insights, it'll show you, let me see if I can just go to Slack here. Show you this. Yeah, here we go. So you can see non-followers started to just pop off. I sent that to Ummer. I was like, all right, this is starting to really work. And I'm not writing this content, by the way. I have our setter who manages this page. He also writes the content. Okay, so, okay. So what happens is a piece of content goes like organically viral and does well organically and gets this ideal comments. Because like this one did really, really well. And you'd think, well, 200,000, but it's like getting us like a lot of like, it's not quite what we're going for. It's such a cool reel. I mean, I love the message of this, but it's not quite getting us what we're looking for. So we're not doing it with it. But if a reel does well organically, we turn it into a DM ad. So go to DMs, ad group. And then you can see here, this one did really well. Unpopular opinion, regular sales jobs are dead. You should try this instead. I mean, obviously, like that's going to get us our ideal client. I mean, look, that's belief engineering, right? Typical sales jobs are dying. Literally the exact words almost. Okay. And then just making it a reel. Unpopular opinion, regular sales jobs are dead. Try this instead. Caption. Explaining the caption, DM me ready. And we got some DMs that said ready. And so what we did is we were, all right, just run it as an ad. It's $5 per thing today. I mean, it's been less than that. It's been like $2.50. And these are good sets. You see ready, 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 hater, loser, broke. So I just wanted to explain this to you guys. I feel like this is how you get it all to work together, right? So in phases, what you want to do, well, not in phases, but if you can have good organic on Instagram, a good VSL, which I can help you with, and good organic on Instagram that gets comments and follows, a good VSL, and then you run ads to the VSL, and then the organic ones that do well, you run them as DM ads. I mean, it's just a very cohesive system that allows belief engineering to shine. Because, and then we do stories. So we build the follower base, right? So from these ads and from this content, we build the follower base, and then we do stories. And these are like direct call to actions saying, hey, we're looking for more clients, or it's like a poll asking people, hey, how much income do you make right now? Would you want to replace it online? Depending on the ICP. Sometimes we're going after people who aren't in sales. Sometimes we're going after people who are. Like these guys are way easier to deliver on, but they're sort of harder to sell. These guys, I would say, are easier to sell, but they're harder to deliver on. So we're just kind of, we just haven't really made our pick. And also these people are way easier to get organically than these guys. And at least I think. I mean, there's so many assumptions baked into what I just said there. But, so we do stories. And then, we have, DM conversations from that too. This is such a messy visual, but I just wanted to draw this out because it's like, it's working like nuts. So if you can prove your VSL, which proves your messaging, and you can take components of your messaging and turn it into organic content. So like all of our content that you'll notice, it's all just this, okay? Like, this is the new opportunity. So old way, constantly pressure to be on, missing church on Sundays, eating lunch at my desk to stay ahead, feeling like a ghost around my family. It's just different ways of explaining the macro trend or mass consensus and getting them to validate their feelings that the way they're currently doing things just ain't freaking working. Okay. Online service sales. That's the new mechanism, I guess, that my team's calling it, online service sales. And it's like justifying it. Okay. So justify it a little bit. You know, how it's better. It's not a gimmick. It's actually a better model. Men of faith. We're stuck in a job they don't want to do. Okay. DMBS, right? Call to action. So then format of offer is like, you know, in the VSL, we actually explain how like we can actually source them these opportunities.
But we also
It's like we
example
literally can plug you into it. You know what I mean? And then if you go to Kaizen, you go to trainings, and you watch this sales call that I had here, you'll see the byproduct of all this being done. This guy did what I said. He clicked the ad on the VSL, came to this page, and then clicked the message us button because he wasn't quite captured by the video. And then he messaged us, and then my setter had a conversation with him, and then he booked in, and I spoke with him, and he closed one call, 5K. Oh, and then I keep forgetting things. It's just this is such a fresh system. I'm sorry, guys. I know this is such a messy training, but like I'm just in here building with you guys. I hope you can appreciate that. The last thing is after they book, before the close, let me move this back a little bit. Before they close, we send them our thank you page. And the language we use is like, and what we call actually our resource page. So I'm going to say that for the sake of marketing, we call it our resource page. And resource page is like thank you page on steroids. And I'll just show you. So it's like all the common questions people ask answered in a bunch of small videos so that they're totally convinced of the way that it works. Like I'll link this to you guys too if you want it. So that by the time that they're on a call, they're like basically sold. And the language that we use is like, hey, like super excited to speak with you. Spend some time on this page, like 10 or 20 minutes, and then decide if let us know if you still want to meet. And like that's a good way to do it, like in the DM at least. And then when people book right off the ads right to VSL, we just text them that, right? To make sure that they're on the resource page. Like, spend some time on this page, text us the word watched after watching like 10 to 30 minutes of that material, answer a bunch of your basic questions, text us if you have any questions, and just let us know if you still want to meet. It's like, we don't assume that just because they booked that they actually want to meet. We're not operating off of that assumption. And that's a huge thing right there. Like most people, just because they book does not mean that they actually want to show up. They're just interested. They're booking because they're vaguely curious. And then once they show up, we close like, gosh, I think like 40% right now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So just wanted to draw this out for you guys and explain the funnel, I guess, that I'm using. But like again, it's all based off of belief engineering, right? Like let's look at our ad. So our best ad right now mirrors our typical sales job if you're dying and you need something better. So like, let's play it real quick. So, well, I could go on that tangent, but you know, if you dial in your belief engineering and you build everything around it, okay. So, yeah. Okay, I'm cutting this in. Ignore those drawings. I forgot to mention as well, add to VSL to booking. Yes, but also the way that our funnel works is a lot of people, they fill out their information and then they don't select the time because they can't find a time that works for them. Or they fill out their information and their information looks really good, but they answer a financial qualifying question wrong, even though they would have the finances. Like they say they make 20 grand a month in commissions, but then they say they don't have, you know, like 2 or 3 grand to start or whatever it is that we ask. So they would fill out immediately, good to go. What would you need to bring in full time? If it's like 10 or 20 or 30 grand a month, then this happens. When is you in? Again, they wouldn't answer that. I'll just pull up the form on our type form. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because our closers actually self-set anybody that looks good that doesn't book a time. So, and that basically doubles the amount of bookings that we get from ads right to VSL too. So like, for example, you'll see like this guy, door-to-door pest control. Makes $9,000 a month. He's been in it for 2 years. What reasons are you not currently satisfied? Not convicted, bad work life. We have them tell us why they don't like what they want and what information would be helpful to send their way. And then we just call them. We're just like, hey man, I saw you came through. So you got some information you want us to send your way. You mind if I ask you a couple questions and I can send it your way? And then we get a conversation going. And then we just set up a longer meeting. We link them our resource page, which later in this Loom video, you'll understand what our resource page is. Offerings range from $2,500 to $6,000, depending on the level of support someone's looking for. Is this doable for you? Yes. We have them tell us are they serious? Are they curious? Where are they at? And then a lot of people, you'll notice they just don't find a time that works for them. These are busy people, and we don't have a ton of times available. So our closer currently, James, is self-setting those sorts of people.